This image is one of the most iconic of all Hubble images.
There's so much concern that there's something locked up, classified.
NASA has made a discovery so significant that it could challenge everything written in the Bible.
And I said to myself, is there an extra galactic source of energy, the continuum?
Usually, NASA is quick to share their space findings, but this time, they're silent, causing fear and panic, especially among Christians. Many believe the alien entity they found could be heading to Earth quickly. Why is NASA keeping quiet about a discovery that's shaking up the religious world? Join us as we explore the alien truth that could change the way you see God forever. The danger behind NASA's silence. Interestingly, NASA, which operates the Hubble Space Telescope, did not respond much at all to this news. The Hubble Space Telescope, launched in 1990, has provided some of the most detailed images of distant galaxies, star clusters, and nebulae, revolutionizing our understanding of the universe.
All of a sudden now, you have a ringside seat to watch the entire universe evolve and change in front of you. All of that is down to the Hubble Space Telescope.
Despite its groundbreaking contributions to astronomy, NASA said very little and did not provide any further details for a long time regarding this particular news. This silence was puzzling, especially since the news was about such a significant finding. Why didn't NASA talk about it? And why did this news upset people who follow religious teachings so much? When you think about it, it's understandable that people would be confused and a bit scared. Normally, NASA shares information about their discoveries in space quite openly. But when a news outlet claimed that there was a new civilization in space, and NASA remained silent, it made people wonder what was being hidden from them. This situation led to doubts about the credibility of the space agency and the government. If extraterrestrial beings were real, it would fundamentally alter our understanding of the cosmos and our role in it. The prospect of not being alone in the universe is significant and could undermine many established beliefs. As NASA kept silent over the years, public curiosity and speculation increased. Everyone was eager to learn more about these beings and why NASA wasn't disclosing information. Now, after many years, NASA is ready to share more about this discovery. It raises questions about why NASA delayed so long. Was it because they needed additional time to verify their findings? Or were they considering how to manage the public's reaction? Whatever their reasons, NASA's recent willingness to share more information has brought this topic back into the spotlight. People are eagerly waiting to see what NASA will reveal next. This could be a turning point in how we view space and our search for other forms of life. Looking ahead, we can only guess how this new information will impact our future in space exploration. It might lead to new missions aimed at finding more about these beings, or even attempts to communicate with them. The possibility of not being alone in the universe opens up many new areas for exploration and could redefine our understanding of life beyond Earth. Thanks to their constant monitoring of the skies, we've solved some long-standing questions of humanity, and even found out that other planets might support life, just like Earth. But the outcomes of these space guardians often lead us to more confusion than clarity. Take 1996, for instance, when their discoveries turned into a major source of debate, especially among religious groups. What was meant to enhance our understanding of the universe ended up creating more doubts and discussions. Back in 1996, a particular finding by NASA made headlines and caused a stir in religious communities. This discovery wasn't just a minor point of interest. It fundamentally challenged what many people believed, sparking widespread debates and discomfort. It showed that even well-intentioned scientific research could have unexpected repercussions, questioning long-held beliefs and prompting a reevaluation of fundamental truths. For those not familiar with the beginning of this story, here's a simplified overview. A group of scientists analyzed data that hinted at something very disruptive about our universe. This hint was not just a small scientific note. It suggested something big enough to make people reconsider their worldview, affecting their philosophical and theological views. With its missions to explore space, NASA did not intend to cause controversy. However, each new finding, while aiming to improve our understanding of our place in the cosmos, seemed to complicate things further. New questions emerged with each discovery, questions that sometimes seem to shake the very foundations of human understanding and belief systems. As we explore more about these space discoveries, it becomes clear that the path to understand the cosmos is filled with both controversy and excitement. The answers we uncover are often not straightforward. They challenge us to think differently, reassess our views, and, perhaps uncomfortably, deal with the uncertainty that comes with stepping into the unknown. This path of discovery doesn't just add to our knowledge. It forces us to question and often revise what we think we know about the universe and our place in it. This incident seemed to fit a pattern where exciting but unverified claims get a lot of attention momentarily, but soon die down when they don't hold up to scientific scrutiny. This shows the gap that sometimes exists between a sensational story and the solid proof needed to support it. While the idea of discovering something unknown about the universe is exciting, it also highlights the importance of maintaining a rigorous approach to scientific research. Exciting claims need to be backed up by real evidence, and without it, these stories remain just that, stories. They serve as a reminder to stay critical and demand strong evidence when it comes to new discoveries in science. After all, in the scientific community, remarkable claims need remarkable evidence, and without it, such reports are just interesting but unconfirmed tales. Doubtful yet curious, Wilson examined the image closely to determine if it was just a flaw in the Hubble's functioning. After confirming that there was no malfunction, he convinced NASA to take another look at the same spot in space, this time using the highest clarity available. The lab was filled with anticipation as the new results were projected. The previously unclear image had transformed dramatically. The fog had cleared, revealing a bright cityscape with towers and domes, including what looked like a watchtower. Surrounding these structures were figures colored in brilliant orange, with wings as wide as airplanes, all seeming to smile peacefully. A stunning discovery hints at new cosmic truths, ready to be explored. The controversy that shook the stars. The story given to journalist Masson sounds almost too amazing to believe. If this discovery were real, it would change everything we know about the universe and our place in it. But the dramatic way the findings are presented makes us question if we're too quick to believe extraordinary claims without enough proof. This might be because they excite our imagination about what's beyond our current knowledge. This situation shows a conflict between our curiosity about the unknown and the strict skepticism science requires. Being ready to accept such a strange claim without solid evidence suggests we might prefer exciting stories over simple explanations, like the possibility that the image was just space debris or an optical illusion. The situation grew more intriguing when computer simulations indicated that Earth and its neighboring planets were slowly moving away from a central point in the universe, similar to the way ripples spread out when a pebble is thrown into a pond. This unusual activity caught the attention of high-ranking officials, including the president and vice president, who found the developments compelling enough to request daily updates, keen to stay informed about the ongoing changes in space. As these celestial events unfolded, someone close to the situation, likely from NASA, began sharing information with the media, though NASA itself remained silent officially. The source, referred to as Mason's source, seemed eager to disclose how top leaders were actively following the situation, adding more interest to the story. This revelation set the stage for intense media scrutiny, as journalists speculated about the chaos and tight-lipped atmosphere within NASA. Despite the growing public interest and media pressure, NASA maintained a stance of withholding comments. They argued that they needed additional time to thoroughly analyze the imagery before making any statements. This approach frustrated some, particularly the journalists at the Weekly World News, a publication not known for patience or subtlety. Faced with NASA's silence, the Weekly World News threatened to publish what they claimed was an exclusive photo showing the cosmic phenomenon. This move finally provoked a response from NASA, who denied the existence of such a photo. This was the first time NASA publicly commented on the issue, driven by the tabloid's threat to release potentially sensational information. The dispute between NASA and the tabloid left the public confused and uncertain about whom to believe. The involvement of well-known figures in the reports only deepened the confusion. People were left to wonder whether the often sensational tabloid or the usually reserved space agency was more credible. The unfolding events were not just a distant cosmic occurrence, but had become a subject of earthly debate, involving public statements, media leaks, and the struggle to discern truth in a sea of conflicting reports. This left observers both fascinated and perplexed, as they tried to understand the depth and implications of what was being revealed about our universe. Despite this major error, NASA's public stance was one of unyielding positivity. They assured everyone that they would resolve the issue swiftly and efficiently. After some time, NASA came forward and addressed the issue directly. They admitted the problem with the telescope, but portrayed it as a minor obstacle in their larger plan for space exploration. The solution was a complex space repair mission planned for 1993. This mission was not just about technical repairs. It was crucial for restoring public confidence in NASA. The mission involved astronauts performing detailed repair work in space, a task fraught with risks and high expectations. The repair mission turned out to be a dramatic success. It corrected the mirror's flaw and transformed the telescope into the powerful observatory it was meant to be. Images from space began to arrive with stunning clarity, revealing galaxies and stars in detail that had never been seen before. This episode highlighted several challenges. First, it showed the risks associated with advanced space technology and the potential for human error. Second, it tested NASA's ability to manage crises. The agency's approach was to maintain a confident front, assuring the public and stakeholders of its capability to manage and correct the problem. NASA's handling of the crisis demonstrated their commitment to overcoming obstacles and their ability to execute complex solutions under pressure. The scientists and engineers, initially under scrutiny for the error, emerged as heroes who had saved one of the most significant investments in space exploration technology. When the Hubble Space Telescope initially sent back images from space, they were disappointingly blurry. These were not the sharp, clear images everyone expected from such an expensive and highly anticipated space telescope. The pictures were so unclear that they looked like they might have been taken with a low-quality amateur telescope. Clearly, something was seriously wrong. The Hubble was designed to provide incredibly detailed views of outer space, not fuzzy, indistinct photos. The root of the problem was a flaw in Hubble's main mirror. This mirror is crucial because it focuses the light from space onto the telescope's cameras and instruments. Unfortunately, the mirror had been made incorrectly. Instead of a perfect curve, the mirror was slightly off. This tiny error had big consequences. It distorted all the images the telescope took. This issue was a huge setback and threatened to undermine the whole project, which had cost billions of dollars and taken years to build. A new challenge arises, demanding ingenuity and courage. Rescuing Hubble, a triumph in space repair. However, the team behind Hubble was not ready to give up. They came up with a plan to fix the telescope directly in space. The solution was to send astronauts to Hubble aboard a space shuttle. Their mission was to install a new piece of equipment, the Corrective Optic Space Telescope Axial Replacement, commonly known as COSTAR. This device was specially designed to correct the flawed mirror. COSTAR worked by adjusting the light before it reached Hubble's instruments, effectively bypassing the error in the mirror. Organizing this repair mission was an enormous challenge. It required designing and building COSTAR, training astronauts for the specific tasks they would need to perform in space, and planning the spacewalks needed to install the new equipment. All of this had to be done with great precision and care to avoid any further damage to the telescope. Despite the complexities, the repair mission was a success. Installing COSTAR required careful work by the astronauts in the challenging environment of space. They had to perform detailed tasks while floating in zero gravity, using tools specially designed for this purpose. Once COSTAR was in place, the difference was dramatic. Hubble's images went from blurry to sharp, revealing the stunning depth and beauty of the universe in ways that had never been seen before. The successful repair of the Hubble Space Telescope is a testament to the dedication and skill of the scientists, engineers, and astronauts involved. They turned a potential disaster into a historic success. With CoStar, Hubble could finally fulfill its promise to explore the cosmos in incredible detail. This mission not only saved the telescope, but also restored faith in the project. About a year after the repair, Hubble was not just working, it was excelling, capturing spectacular images that significantly advanced our understanding of the universe. The Hubble Space Telescope team took on a daring task. They targeted a very small part of the sky, no bigger than a tiny speck if you held it out at arm's length. They directed Hubble to focus on this spot and gather light for a long 10 days. The result was a photograph that captured some of the faintest and farthest objects ever seen in the universe, far beyond what the scientists had expected to find. On the day the photo was revealed, while the usual work was underway at NASA's offices in the United States, the team was presented with an extraordinary discovery. The telescope had captured images that featured what seemed like an enormous, brightly shining city floating in space. This sight was completely new and had not been seen before, causing a mix of wonder and confusion among the scientists. The complexity and unexpected nature of the photos presented a challenge. The researchers were at a loss on how to proceed with what they had found. At the same time, a technical slip-up caused these images to be accidentally released on the Hubble's web server. Quickly, the images spread across the internet. NASA tried to regain control over the spread of these images by restricting access, but it was already too late. The images had captured the attention of the public. Moreover, a photographer at El Al Airfield took his own pictures of this amazing sight, making the information public and out of the government's hands. This sparked a lot of public interest and attention, leaving the NASA team to deal with both the technical and scientific parts of their findings and the wide public reaction. The situation unfolded under the watchful eyes of a curious global audience eager to learn more about this unexpected celestial city. When a group of astronomers first looked at the impressive photos, they quickly got absorbed in the complex details of the structure. Many religious individuals soon claimed that this structure was actually heaven, also known as the City of God, a place believed to be the final resting spot for souls who have left Earth. However, NASA scientists approached these claims with caution. They insisted on sticking to scientific methods, knowing that beliefs and spirituality should not influence scientific research. They continued their investigations with a focus on solid evidence and scientific procedures. As NASA kept working to understand the structure through facts and data, other astronomers noticed that it looked similar to another space phenomenon, the Red Rectangle Nebula, officially named HD 44179. This nebula has always intrigued the scientific community. Seen through normal telescopes, it appears in shades of red and remains an interesting feature in space, drawing ongoing interest due to its unique shape and materials. The quick acceptance of the idea that this structure could be heaven was very different from NASA's slow and careful gathering of information and testing of theories. While some people were ready to believe stories of a divine construction in the stars, NASA scientists collected and analyzed data methodically, trying to solve a complex challenge that did not easily reveal its answers. This highlighted the long-standing tension between science and spirituality, where both sides look to the stars for answers, but follow very different paths to seek understanding in the vast, unknown universe. This difference between spiritual belief and scientific inquiry often leads to different interpretations of the same celestial phenomena. Where one group sees signs and wonders pointing to mythical or spiritual truths, the other seeks verifiable facts and explanations grounded in physical reality. This ongoing pursuit of knowledge about the universe involves rigorous investigation and careful examination of each new finding, with scientists often having to correct or refine their understandings as new data comes to light. Blurring lines between reality and illusion call for a closer look. When digital art meets space science. In scientific research, every hypothesis must be tested, and every conclusion is subject to revision based on new evidence. This diligent approach ensures that our understanding of the cosmos is built on a foundation of reliable knowledge rather than assumptions or beliefs. Meanwhile, those who view celestial phenomena through a spiritual lens often use these visions to reinforce their faith or spiritual views, interpreting the mysteries of space as symbols of divine presence or action. This interaction between differing worldviews illustrates the rich and varied human response to the unknown. Whether through the lens of faith or the rigor of science, our engagement with the cosmos reflects a deep-seated desire to comprehend our place in it, to unravel the complexities of what lies beyond our immediate perception, and to grasp the fundamental nature of reality itself. As we continue to explore the heavens, both science and spirituality provide frameworks for understanding, each contributing to the broader human narrative in its own unique way. Initially, what looked like a simple, rectangular form in the sky became much more complicated when the Hubble telescope took a closer look. The enhanced images revealed a structure that resembled a ladder with arms extending in disordered web-like patterns similar to a stack of wine glasses overflowing with glowing cosmic gas. This strange sight piqued NASA's interest, prompting an in-depth investigation. The phenomenon had caught the attention of both the scientific community and the general public, making it a topic of wide interest and speculation. As a result, NASA felt the pressure to thoroughly understand and explain this unusual sighting in the cosmos. As experts pored over the images, searching for any detail that might explain what this structure was, they noticed something peculiar about the images themselves. Hubble telescope images are known for their specific characteristics, such as the radial spikes that appear around bright objects, a common result of the telescope's mirror design. However, this particular image showed deviations from those expected features, which made the experts cautious. This observation led to more rigorous examinations. The scientists questioned the authenticity of the image and considered all possibilities that could account for the anomalies. They revisited the data, checked their equipment, and reviewed the procedures used to capture and process the image. This level of scrutiny was necessary to ensure the integrity of their findings, which were now under the microscope of a captivated global audience. The ongoing investigation became a meticulous task, requiring precise analysis and careful interpretation of the data. Each step was taken with a heightened sense of diligence, as the team aimed to provide clear answers to a curious public and a watchful scientific community. The process was slow and methodical, reflecting the complexity of space exploration and the challenges of interpreting distant cosmic phenomena. When light enters a telescope, it interacts with the supports holding the secondary mirror. This interaction bends the light, creating spike patterns. These spikes are usually at right angles. However, in the widely circulated image called the City of God, the spikes were messy and not aligned as expected. This was the first clue for NASA that the image was likely a fake, not a real capture from the Hubble Space Telescope. Telescope images have a distinct light diffraction pattern, like a signature, helping experts tell real astronomical photos from fakes. Continued analysis confirmed the suspicion. The City of God image was a fabricated piece, not an extraordinary new finding. It turned out to be a hoax, probably made by someone skilled in photo editing to create a sensation and spread misinformation. This wasn't unique. A similar incident happened in 2014 with another fake celestial image that caught public attention. Investigation traced this image to Adam Ferris, who had created it. This shows a troubling trend of creating fake celestial images for online attention. Some people find value in these deceptions, presenting their digital creations as new space discoveries. These incidents remind us of the need for skepticism and careful verification of information in our digital age. The ease of manipulating and sharing digital content makes it crucial for the public and professionals to critically evaluate the authenticity of sensational claims, especially about space discoveries. As technology advances, so does the sophistication of digital fakes, making it essential to stay vigilant against misleading representations of scientific achievements. Adam Ferris is an artist who specializes in editing pictures taken by space telescopes. Between 2012 and 2014, he worked on a project called 500 Years Away. During this time, he took images from telescopes and modified them using his software, transforming these space images into something quite different from their original form. This process might seem impressive, but it's just a complex way of editing photos. Unexpected turns push us to question what we see and believe. Ferris's cosmic gate. One picture from Ferris's series got a lot of attention. It looked like what people might think of as the entrance to heaven, set against a starry background. But this picture wasn't a new discovery from space. It was made using digital editing. The original image was of the Omega Nebula, also called the Swan Nebula. This photo was taken by the European Southern Observatory in 2011. Ferris used his editing skills to turn this nebula picture into something magical, like a gateway to another world. Some people call Ferris an artist, while others think he is just really good at editing. His work is a mix of art and technology. He uses scientific images as a base for his creative work. By changing a photo of a nebula into what he called a heavenly scene, Ferris makes us think about what counts as art and how much we can change an image before it stops being the original. There is a lot of debate about whether it is right to heavily edit scientific images. When Ferris changes the look and meaning of the nebula, he also changes how we see these cosmic objects. Some people think this is misleading because it shows a very edited version of reality as something amazing, far from the original beauty of the nebula. Critics argue that Ferris's work is not about discovering the truths of the universe, but about showing off his editing skills. He mixes real photos of space with digital effects to create beautiful but unrealistic images. While this art is captivating, it also distorts our understanding of space. It presents a fake view of the cosmos that looks pretty but is not scientifically accurate. When experts found out that the Gate of Heaven image was fake, they wanted to know where the false story started. They traced it back to the Weekly World News, a magazine known for its sensational and often untrue stories. Experts started by checking the facts. They looked closely at the image to see how it was edited. They found that computer software had changed the original photo to make a striking but fake picture. This was hard to notice at first, because the editing was done very well. NASA confirmed what the experts thought. The image was fake. There was no heavenly city floating in space, just a digitally created illusion. This was important because it showed how easily people could be fooled by a convincing image, making them believe in something spectacular that wasn't real. The investigation was thorough. Experts looked into every detail of how the Weekly World News had first published the story. The magazine had not just reported the hoax, but had spread the false story widely. The excitement the story generated was based on a completely fictional depiction. This case showed how powerful and misleading a well-crafted fake image could be. It also highlighted the responsibility of the media to report the truth, because spreading false stories can lead to widespread misinformation. People who were really interested in the case asked Dr. Mason, the reporter, and the supposed NASA informants to provide solid proof for their stories. But no proof came forward, raising more doubts. This lack of evidence led to a deeper investigation into the magazine's history. It turned out that the Weekly World News was known for its completely made-up stories. This should not have been a surprise. The magazine thrived on creating the most shocking and unbelievable stories. In the past, the tabloid had even published stories about aliens endorsing a presidential candidate. It also claimed that Elvis Presley was still alive, decades after his confirmed death in 1977. The tabloid supported these claims with vague photos and stories from unidentified people. On another occasion, the magazine reported that hikers had found a baby alien in a crashed spaceship in New Mexico. This story was full of details about the supposed alien child and its strange surroundings, supported by blurry photos and anonymous sources. This narrative was creative but completely false. Each story from the tabloid seemed to push the boundaries of believability. The more sensational the story, the better it was for the tabloid's sales. This approach made it hard for anyone looking for real information to take the publication seriously. The Weekly World News focused on entertaining rather than informing. This led to a gradual loss of trust among readers. The real shock was not the stories themselves, but how easily people believed them. This showed a deep desire for fantastical stories over factual ones. People who read the Weekly World News seemed to enjoy the wild and unbelievable stories. They liked being amazed and entertained, but this also meant they were often misled. The magazine's stories were designed to grab attention and sell copies, not to tell the truth. This approach made it hard to separate fact from fiction, leading to a lot of confusion. The case of the Gate of Heaven image was a good example of this problem. It showed how a fake image could capture people's imaginations and spread quickly. It also showed the importance of checking the facts and being careful about what we believe. The story of Ferris's edited image and the Weekly World News is a lesson in the power of images and the need for truth in media. It reminds us to look critically at what we see and read, and to always seek out the facts. This way, we can enjoy amazing stories and images while also staying grounded in reality. Is our fascination with the unknown and extraordinary clouding our judgment and understanding of what is true? Share your thoughts in the comments, like the video if you found it interesting, and don't forget to subscribe for more.